In this video we're making this cute little seed bead adjustable bracelet with a square knot sliding closure. For this design we're using 0.8mm polyester cotton thread and some 4mm seed beads. We need a length of about 35 centimeters of thread, and then we go ahead and place our seed beads on. I usually bead about 1 centimeter less than the wrist measurement, so my wrist is about 16 centimeters, so I'm beading 15 centimeters. Once you've got your beads at the right length, we want to make sure our beads are sitting right in the middle. So place our ends together and follow it back down, and just bringing those beads down so that they're sitting evenly. Then holding that spot on one side of the beads, we're going to just tie a simple overhand knot and pull it down onto that spot. Pulling it nice and tight and then sliding the beads up against the knot and tying one on the other end as well. Being gentle to pull this one tight so that you can get it sitting right next to those beads, holding them all in place in the center of your thread. Now that's the beading part done. We're going to move on to the adjustable sliding knot. Now lay your bracelet down with these cords overlapping on the right hand side, and this is where we're going to tie our little square knot. For this part here we need another length of our 0.8mm thread, so we're using about 30 centimeters. Now we start by placing this thread underneath where these cords overlap. Now we bring this left side cord around and over the top, leaving a little loop on the left hand side. Now the right side cord comes down over this thread, and then we gently bring it underneath and up the loop on the left hand side. Pulling that tight. Now we swap to the right hand side, so bringing this right side around and over top, leaving a little loop there. I'm bringing the left side down over and then underneath to come up that loop on the right hand side. Pulling it nice and tight. And now back to the left hand side. Bringing that cord around and over, leaving the loop. Right side cord comes down over and then underneath to come up that loop on the left hand side. Pulling it nice and tight, and then back to the right hand side, bringing that cord around and over, leaving a loop. Left side cord comes down over and then underneath to come up that loop on the right hand side. Pulling it nice and tight. Now we just continue alternating these stitches from left to right until your square knot is the size that you want it. I normally do about 10 stitches, but you can just try your bracelet on and see if you like the look of it or you want it to be a little bit bigger. Once you're happy with the size of your square knot, you can cut these little tails off on the sides, leaving just a couple of millimeters so that you can singe it with a lighter. I like to really gently melt and then tap with the scissors so that I can fuse the end of my cord onto the knot. Making sure not to melt it too much. You want to fuse the end together, but you still need your knot to slide along okay. Now you want to size your bracelet, so just trying it on, making sure you're happy with it, and then just pulling it apart so that you can get the size it fits over your hand, and that's the smallest you need your bracelet to be. I like to put one little seed bead on each thread and then tie some little stopper knots on each side so that your threads don't disappear inside the knot. Simple overhand knots on each side are fine, making sure not to make it any smaller than that minimum size, and you want to make sure that your knots are nice and even on each thread. Pulling them down nice and tight And then you can cut the tails on the ends just outside the knot and singe the ends so they don't fray.